Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Metal One Designs headquarters. And we're back for another episode of Beyond the NFT. My name is Sinful, and I am your host for tonight's event. I see the HQ still filling up here on Decentraland. So good to see you all. Since my last shoutouts, I saw Toria pop in. What up, Mikey? Hey, what up, Space Maker? Good to see you. Oh, a new name, Tupoka. Welcome to Beyond the NFT. Happy you're here. Josh, I see you up there, all the way at the top, chillin'. As well as Derek. Derek is flying over here, always flying. Let's see, who else haven't I given some love to tonight? Metamom. So nice to see you, Louise. And thank you for coming. I hope you enjoy the show, everyone. Um, big shout out to every one of my friends. Yeah, before we begin, I would like to give a special shout out to our sponsor, Bucktown MMA. Oops, here. My apologies. I fumbled the bag here a little bit. F- um, Founded by our friend Jay, Bucktown MMA is a mixed martial arts program whose mission is to support lives through the transformative power of mixed martial arts. They want to empower the youth and young combat athletes through their hard work, dedication, and mentorship. If you would like to support, head over to bucktown.org/support, and there you will be able to read a little more about what you will be supporting through any purchase of any merch or an NFT. All proceedings go back to the program. And thank you, everyone. Now, without further delay, it is a great pleasure to introduce Wen Airdrop, founder of iHeartDomains. Welcome, Wen Airdrop. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, doing pretty good, and thank you for having me here. Glad to be here.
Hey, I'm happy to have you here as well. It feels like it's been a while since we last connected. It's funny how how I connected with you through the iHeart domain Twitter, and you're like, hey, bro, we've connected before.
Yeah, I always, it's funny enough, I'm in the identity space, and avatars or what do you call it? PFPs is probably the most recognizable identity. I never forget a PFP.
And I mean, good to have you on the show. I usually like to begin the show by passing the mic over to my guests and, giving you the opportunity to give yourself a proper introduction, and, tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, as you said, name is Win Airdrop, aka Marcus Andrews. I think I mentioned before, I am fully doxed builder in the space. I'm the founder of IHeartDomains, which is a Web3 marketing agency focused on digital identity Web3 domains. Most of you guys are familiar with .eth or .crypto, .x, .nft. I'm a very bullish builder and educator and marketer in that space. That's me.
Hmm. I see, I see. And so you kind of came into Web3. Was that kind of like your first goal coming into Web3? Kind of identity, and domains.
I actually found a few things at the same time, weirdly enough. So, what originally brought me into the space was meme coins. But I landed in like the what do you call it the home forks. I think everybody probably remembers those. The Olympus DAO. I was in Wonderland. Hector DAO. And kind of at that same time is when I found Unstoppable in ENS, and yeah, I ended up getting my identity at that same time. And I'm not sure why I got extremely bullish or a light bulb clicked at that point. Maybe it's because I had already gotten rug to some extent after joining Olympus DAO or Wonderland, because that happened pretty quickly after I joined. Maybe I was just seeking refuge in that investment. But yeah, I went down, my mind immediately clicked that this was actually something that's real, that I could tell real people about and wouldn't feel ridiculous, as opposed to, taking pictures.
And at what point did you see the opportunity?
The opportunity, so I want to say I think I always recognized the opportunity. I never really focused on it or tried to put myself, I guess, in position to take advantage of it initially, until the first Names Con that I went to, which happened, I think, like my first year in the space. I've been to 3 Names Cons now, but that was when I was introduced to the other side of the business. So when to make that make sense, when I first bought my digital identity, which is when I first came into the space, and I think every name that I bought after, I bought with the intent to use it. I tried to buy it, and which is probably why I bought all bad names, because I bought names that made sense to me and really no one else would want. But it wasn't until I got exposed to like the entire business of domaining from a whole different perspective, because NamesCon didn't really even have anything to do with Web3, but there was a big Web3 presence there that year, so I got a mix of both. But that's when I started to see, like, nah, this is a business that makes people millions of dollars. And, I love the tech, but I also want to build, kind of on the other side of the fence as well. And again, I see now with what I do that there was definitely room for the value that I have to provide.
What was your first ENS minted?
I bought the first name that I ever got wasn't an ENS, it was an Unstoppable.
Okay.
And the first name that I got from Unstoppable was WinAirdrop.nft.
Okay, nice.
So the first ENS I ended up getting was Win-Airdrop. That I said all that to say that the first ENS that I got was to match this name. Somebody already got WinAirdrop without the hyphen, so I had to settle for the hyphen version, which I actually hate and don't use.
Hey, it happens. It happens. Like, you can't always get the perfect name sometimes when, which kind of leads me to this question, like between the two. I mean, ENS is the biggest, one of the biggest blockchain ENS providers, or name providers. And then there's Unstoppable Domain. Do you have a preference between either or? Are there like any like major differences between the two?
Yeah. There's a few ways to answer that question. Do I have a preference between either or? My preference is actually neither. However, and I'll try to make that make sense in a little bit. And it's just because I learned a different side of this business. I started investing in other naming services, and I'm more biased towards that side of the business as an investment. So preferably, that ecosystem gains traction, right? But going back to the second part of your question, are there differences between ENS and Unstoppable? Oh, a whole mountain of them. Really? Some could just, I guess, summarize it as ENS domains work and everything else really doesn't. You really could, and that's no disrespect to the other naming systems, because I have respect for all of them. I do believe that they can all build their own value, and they will find their value in their integrations. And as the ecosystem gets bigger, some of the integrations that we see now as Grail integrations might not be like so much like MetaMask, right? We're already starting to diversify from everyone using MetaMask as a wallet. So at some point, being integrated into MetaMask would be like, okay, that's cool, but it's not like you're the king of the mountain anymore. So eventually other naming systems will have that opportunity to have the same kind of market share as ENS. But for right now, ENS is killing it.
ENS
They're integrated
is killing
in everything.
They really are. Go ahead.
Yeah, they have, not only are like .eth as a naming system, but like I said, ENS, they were smart enough to start integrating with other parts of the space or the future of the space as well, and enabling, like for instance, I call it the cheat code. They've enabled Web 2 DNS to bridge into Web 3 using ENS basically. So Web 2 DNS, any Web 2 DNS name can become an ENS name, which now means Web 2 doesn't have to compete with us; they partner with us, but via ENS, and that's part of the market share that they currently have that no one else really can capture because no one else has that capability.
Okay, you just mentioned DNS, correct? Okay. Maybe you can help me out here because like I've always like seen these weird in my hidden folder, like I own ENSs, I collect them as well as Decentraland names. I'm a little degen. But I've noticed that like sometimes randomly I'll receive like a random asset that is a DNS. Like I have a DNS for my SinfulMeatStick ENS that just arrived randomly. I didn't really claim or anything like that. DN. Let's see if.
So is it something that's like an object that someone's trying to send you?
Let's see if I can find. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's eDNS. Okay, maybe a little different. eDNS.
No, you're talking
something
about that's a platform.
Meta. I just got this randomly.
Yeah, eDNS is I know who they are too. I've actually done an AMA with eDNS.
And it's not a rug. They won't drain my wallet. We good.
I don't know what you personally got sent. That could drain or rug your wallet.
Yeah.
Always do your research, all that good stuff. But eDNS is a platform themselves. They had a pretty impressive project. I recall they were doing cross-chain, multi-chain identity. You'd be able to port it and move it and like transact with it on different blockchains, kind of like on layer 0. But it was actually a pretty solid convo.
Okay.
Now, the DNS that I'm speaking of is what's called the domain name system,
Okay.
which is what the regular internet works on. When you type in discord.com, that's the DNS system, the ICANN ecosystem, traditional Web 2 domains that are getting you there. What do you call it? Resolving the IP addresses, going through all that process.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for the explanation. Okay, you had mentioned that you have attended 3 name cons to this point, and kind of like you had mentioned that like it kind of helped you look at the other side of the business in a way. What are maybe any insights that you've gotten from there that you could share with us?
A lot actually, because I mean I'm going to continue to go to names cons, and I think that our space, the web, and it's weird because like we even I'm creating this wall right between Web 2 DNS domains and Web 3 whatever blockchain domains, but we're trying to tear down that wall. We're trying not to reference them like they're separate entities and trying to build bridges between the two. Like I said, ENS has done a good job with the ability to turn any .com, .info, .whatever into basically an ENS domain. But some of the things, I believe the question was, what did I learn from this, or what am?
Yeah.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah. What are some insights that you could share with us? Like anything that really stuck with you that you like kind of brought out of there and brought it into your ecosystem, or I mean, even when you educate others.
Well, yeah. So we're trying to. Well, one of the big things that we've innovated and are trying to gain a lot of adoption for in this ecosystem is the ability to do price discovery using auctions. So auctions is a big price discovery tool that they use for Web 2 domains. It's how a lot of Web 2 domains are sold. And in particular, they do their big, probably their biggest IRL auction each year at NamesCon. So each year you get to sit there and watch, millions of dollars of domains be sold in person.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a really fun experience, and we were able to kind of replicate that on this side of the space. A platform called GBM. If you're familiar with Avagachi at all, they're the ones that built their auction platform. But they've now tailored that specifically towards the domain ecosystem. They actually built a D app for me, and we brought blockchain domain auctions to the table, and have actually been responsible for auctioning the first domain, on-chain domain, first Web2 domain ever via that blockchain auction.
Ooh.
Uh, so just different tools like that. Like I said, naming is naming. Again, like I was explaining earlier, we we have been kind of describing the two spaces like there's a wall there, but that wall's being broken down because at the end of the day, naming is naming. For 30 years, you have an entire ecosystem and industry and groups of people who have been selling names on the internet. They know how to sell names on the internet, and these are no different. They just don't resolve the websites; they resolve the crypto addresses. The people who know how to sell names know how to sell names. So we're going there to learn from them, to build bridges with them, and a lot of them are already investors in our space. If you look at some of the biggest domain investors like Andrew Rosner, who's the largest Web2 broker in the world. I mean, he rocks a Board 8. These are people that get both sides of our space. So.
Yeah, definitely. So that's crazy. That NamesCon is the place to see, like, if let's say, for example, if Apple ever wanted to sell their domain, like, they'll be in there, kind of be like starting the bid at $1 billion. Apple.
100% the person who probably did broker the name Apple to Apple is in that room or goes to that conference. I know Andrew was responsible for selling X.com to Elon.
Ooh, that's fire. That is fire. Okay, so I'm gonna definitely like look up a little more information about NameCon. Does seem like something I may be interested in, or even some of our friends could be interested in. Do you know when will be the next one by any chance?
They changed it up. Yeah, this year was a weird year for everybody. So consensus. Well, so NamesCon is held in was held in Austin, Texas, just like Consensus was held in Austin, Texas. This year they actually happened like a few days apart. So this year went to Consensus, went home for like 2 days, came back and went through NamesCon, and I think that was in June, right?
Okay.
But now Consensus is being weird, and they went to, and not weird like in a bad way, I guess, but they don't want to come to Austin next year. I think they're going to Canada and where, Tokyo or something,
Okay.
or somewhere else. But NamesCon's doing the same thing. Maybe it's an Austin thing, not sure, but long way to answer your question. I don't know when or even where it's going to be next year.
To be determined. So, coming into Web3, or actually just being in Web3 for as long as that you have, what are some of your favorite communities that you have connected with so far?
Hands down, the domaining community for obvious reasons, and I won't bore you to death with that. That's probably what the majority of our conversation is going to be about. But also looking at my PFP, this is a community that I was just recently introduced to during ETH Denver, and I want to say introduced to seriously, but that would be the nounish
Okay.
communities, and then also symbol that's on my hat is for verbs, which is another nounish community that's kind of an identity of all its own, and I have a lot more active in verbs in particular. But yeah, that was the answer to that question.
Nice, nice. So nouns, thou, verb, and did I miss one just now?
The domaining community.
Oh, domain. Yes, of course.
That was the obvious one. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm always looking for like communities to connect with. So like, I mean, I'm always out there talking to people. I host a show, as you may know.
Well, yeah, and just like, oh, my bad.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Also, and like we were speaking earlier, you know, things making things make sense, right? I refer to myself sometimes as a degen, but I don't know if I would call myself a true degen, because I really do want the things that I'm involved in, or that I buy, that I'm invested in, to work, right? When I buy an NFT, I'm the kind of person that will round trip it to zero, hoping that the community plays out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really am impressed by like the community that you belong to, with like what I'm looking at right now with both Decentraland, with a kid called Beast. And that's the same thing that attracted me to nouns and verbs. Out of all the time that I've been in the space, like, and even domains isn't like this, because domains it's an identity, but it's not a visual identity from a PFP perspective, from that community perspective.
It's more like general.
I don't think that there's right. I don't think that there is another community out there that builds where just everybody is on the same page and has the same synergy and is here to build like nouns and verbs is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I found there, which is what attracted me to that community. Even like being so late in the space, took that long to kind of find the one that made sense.
Yeah, usually it takes a while to find your family in a way. Like I have to say that I kind of got lucky in a way because like me coming into Web3, like I was, I found Decentraland first because of the music festival they had back in 2021. I came in, then anything after that was like me trying to play poker or like try to fuck with people by going meow, like in voice chat, like in populated areas. And but but then it's like I had the opportunity to meet a community that was operating in Decentraland, and I got to like learn with them, build with them. I met a lot of even friends that that are here tonight through that community. But unfortunately, the founder kind of, we noticed what kind of ego was driving the project at the very top, and it was like kind of one of those scenarios where it's like I don't think it's worth investing my time and efforts into this. But then it's like I kind of sat back and was like, it wasn't really about that specific community, because like I'm here for Decentraland, in Decentraland. Like the Decentraland community is my community, and yeah, that's how I met everyone here. And I promise there are a lot more of us. Just tonight is a little bit of a slow night because usually we like have like a chain of events before this event, so it kind of leads up. But I'm very thankful to have even everyone here tonight that is here with us. We have 10 people on Decentraland, a few views on Twitch, a couple views on X, and as well as YouTube and Kick. So we're doing okay.
Yeah, and it's Labor Day as well, so today has been kind of all around.
Yes, exactly.
And everybody taking their time to.
So yeah, and a portion of our community has actually been traveling. They've been traveling across the pond over to Lisbon for a DAO summit, because we have some fixing to do within our DAO. So, a lot of our friends and people that could like represent the community are going over there and kind of like bringing the community a part of like any decision making or any consensus or anything that they may solve at that summit.
I actually do have a question for you, if you don't mind breaking it down.
Of course.
And it's like a trigger word or buzzword for me, which again is why I'm interested in looking at Decentraland now too. I understand DAOs mostly from a nounish perspective, and I know a lot of DAOs operate differently. So I don't know if I need to explain the way that the nounish DAOs operate or the way that I explain it, but all the money goes into a treasury, we collectively vote or submit props, blah blah blah, that stuff. How does the Decentraland DAO work?
Alrighty, here, let me change my screen here in Discord so that you can like have a look while I explain, or while I show you. Let's go to this page right here. Okay. Governance. Okay, so right here, I'm taking us to the Decentraland DAO, like main page. So the Decentraland DAO, yes, about like when Decentraland was crowdfunding and getting the funds, they got a lot of money, millions and millions of dollars, and then they split the millions and millions into two contracts. One which was allocated, like funds allocated to the DAO for creation of, the of for just building in the general platform, pushing it forward. And then there's a foundation contract, which is like the official Decentraland team that builds the platform, protects the IP right, and kind of like, keeps the servers running for us in a way. But then eventually the foundation contract will run out, and then the ownership of Decentraland will be transferred over to the DAO. In within our DAO, like, yeah, we put up proposals, and as a community we vote for them. So like right here, Rustan is currently in the parcel with us on Decentraland. Our friend Rustan, super talented body painter, like world renowned. Look him up. He put up a proposal. He wants to increase the file size limitations per parcel because right now they're too low, and creators could express themselves even better if they had more file size to deploy on. So yeah, community comes in, they vote with their voting power, and voting power is measured by mana. Mana gives you one voting power. One parcel of land gives you 2,000 voting power. One name gives you 100 voting power. So it all accumulates, and people could also delegate you their voting power for you to vote on their behalf as well. Did that answer your question by any chance? I just started going.
No, it actually does. I have one more question as well.
For sure. Go ahead.
So, do you guys have a way to? Well, you answered one part of the question. I guess the foundation contract will eventually run out. What about the other one? Do you guys have any revenue generating mechanisms for putting it back in?
Well, that is what we as a community are currently trying to work on as well. The markets, this Web3 space at the moment is very slow. In in the economy and world proportions are kind of like leading towards recessions and down, and yeah, just falling. So like, a lot of money has been pulled from a lot of different places. So, like, I feel like the summit is going to be a good, kind of like time to like sit down and for the community to kind of say like, okay, what is the mission of our DAO? How can we start generating funds? How can we move forward? How can we improve our voting systems? And as of now, our only ways of generating would be like through name mints, and through through wearable publications, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm
maybe some secondary market sales, like for wearables and stuff like that. They might get a portion. I'm still trying to think, or maybe it's like the initial mint. I think they get a portion, like 2%, 2.5%. And
cool, yeah, because my bad.
And then our screen right now, this is showing you the current balance. This is currently how much funds we have in the treasury that have been released to this point, because like I mentioned, the DAO is on a smart contract that slowly releases funds per second. Like every second there are little increments of funds that are being made available to release from the contract.
I can't see it on my screen. What was the number?
Let's see. For mana, we have like 46 million mana, 93,000 DAI, yeah, 18,000 UST, 496 ETH. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're well funded, and that was the point that I was about to make as well. Is that hearing how the mechanics work, that you guys are, basically builders are able to put proposals in to continue to improve the world that you're building, an infinite improving world.
Hmm.
And, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
It's
in
a great plan.
theory, or in words, it sounds awesome, but there's like the other side of it, which is the gross side of it, where like, not all humans are good humans. Humans will take advantage of beautiful things or like good things to yeah, get a leg up or whatever, which has happened within our DAO. So give you a little history of where we are, like currently in our DAO history. We had a moment where we had a lot of like bogus projects come through asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars and getting this particular whale that is corrupt has a lot of voting power, 4 million voting power. He could pass a lot of proposals by himself, and his friends like were passing these people's proposals. You would see like, yeah, you would see like in the voting, you would see like, let's say 30, 40 no votes and like 5 to 10 yes votes, but the yes would still win. So like, that's the symptom of a broken voting system at the moment.
Yeah, that I think that's what, and it still kind of exists to some extent, even in nowish DAOs. It can happen.
Hmm.
But that's kind of what the one a day, thing was supposed to mitigate, is that no one can really just wail in that quick, or at least you'd be able to notice it because they'd have to show up every day in the auctions, and at some point, we could kind of fight against that. But yeah, it still happens to people. But yeah, that's unfortunate. And yeah, that okay. I
Okay.
see how that could happen.
Okay, my bad. I thought I was showing you the DAO screen, but I wasn't. But now it should be pulled up in a way.
I see it now.
Okay, yeah, like Rustan's proposal that I was telling you about, to increase limit size. Like it's just at the draft phase. Like he wants this idea to go through. This is like a proposal for kind of an idea or a something you would like to see in the world. There's governance proposals. There's grant proposals.
So when you propose something, are you the one that also now has to build it?
Yeah, I mean, like it depends on how you're doing it. Like, let's say you are putting in a proposal because you have this team of Decentraland builders that want that and all this land, and you have a great idea. Like you could submit the proposal, and then within the budgeting, you could say, okay, so and so will go to, or this amount will go to the coder, this amount will go to our UI person, whatever it may be, just, given the breakdown of costs.
All right, makes sense.
Hmm. But yeah, right now, within the Decentraland DAO, like it's kind of blocked off. But after telling you about like the corrupt voting, the there was a proposal that came through to freeze all grants except for things that would improve the platform. So right now, like, Decentraland is very limited with grants, but once again, like I said, hoping this free Genesis they'll come to a mission, and then it would reopen opportunities for the rest of the community.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's good that you guys are locked it down and
Here, here's our
corrected it and doing it. Oh yeah, I see it now.
here's our transparency. Yeah, the mana and all that. In the last 30 days, let's see, our income has been $8,000 through name mints, wearable fees, estate DCL fees, sales. Yeah, so like these are the mechanisms that are currently in place to kind of fund the DAO. But as you
How
can
much are
see,
names?
hmm?
How much are names?
100 mana. So mana's at like maybe 20 or 30, 40, no, 25, 30 cents around there maybe. So it'd be like $30, let's say, plus ETH gas. Like, yeah, I mean, I if you want to know a little bit about how much of a degenerate I am, I mean, here's my current screen. Let's see, currently in this account, I have 47 names.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
And
I
I'm imagining there's a secondary market for these.
yes, there is. And
Yeah.
do
Okay.
you see the like right here mods.dcl.eth serving as like a
Mhm.
subdomain? And then if I'm an ENS, if I go to ENS and sign in. Oh wait, is this it? Yeah, they've changed up a little bit.
They changed the homepage.
Yeah,
Everything else is still.
yeah, right here under subnames. Is it subnames? No. Ownership? Wait a second. They used to show up like right here. Maybe not.
But they're actual working
Oh,
ENS subs, so
right
they
here.
resolve. Okay. Yeah.
I got him. I got him. Yeah, right here.
Okay.
My subdomains are there. I'm the manager. The parent is dcl.eth. So, so yeah, little
Okay.
kind of like a visual on how that side of things work.
Yeah, I've never really talked to anybody, but like I said, I knew that there was a naming system over there. Just never really talked to anybody that was actually into collecting, flipping, selling, all that stuff. We never really talk about that in our world, which is weird because we talk about every other naming service.
I mean, this could even be like a new like topic even to kind of explore and stuff like that. Um, because I
Do
don't.
you know roundabout how many names have been issued to date?
I mean, I think the easiest way to check that would be to go to
Oh, it would be
OpenSea,
DCL. Yeah. Well,
Decentral.
actually,
No,
that part too.
it would be Decentraland names. Oh wow, I didn't type it all.
I told you this time of day where I've had I've relaxed, so sometimes my brain doesn't work as fast.
Nah, no worries, man. We're chilling. And I think I saw. Okay, there's 14,000, almost 15,000 unique holders, but I thought I saw 40,000 items. Yeah, right here.
Yeah, it's right there. About 41,000 names.
Yeah, about 41,000 names have been minted. Right now, this is the second market. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's got its marketplace.
And minting a name gets you the name, and then, well, you said you can map it to land, but
Yep.
minting the name itself gets you voting power.
Yes, it gives you 100 voting power. So like you can kind of say it's like a transfer, like 100 mana for 100 voting power with your name. Um, let's see, and yeah, I guess I could show you like where to mint. Like on the Decentraland website, if you go to create and then and names, there's a button that says mint a new name, and yeah, you could type it in. It has to be 15 or under characters, and yeah, you can start the process. And I saw Josh kind of add again, like even with the names, as I was telling you before about the worlds. Oh, excuse me. About DCL worlds, how you could deploy an experience within your name.
Mhm.
So yeah, each name comes with like 100 MB worth of file size, and
Okay, so the name itself is like its own mini metaverse.
yes, it is exactly.
Huh.
As you can see, I like to flex on my friends a little bit here. I currently have in this account alone 4.9 gigabytes around there worth of building space or building files.
Okay.
Just flexing,
See,
just
and
flexing.
now this is really piecing this together, and I'm definitely gonna go grab some names.
Oh,
And
eh,
when it
one
go for
last
it.
thing. Even if you have ENS domains, they count as well as like kind of like a world. Like you could deploy to your ENS world, but like I believe it's smaller gigabytes, like or megabytes, like 25 megabyte limit. But yeah,
You can't upgrade it at all, or
I don't know about the ENS, but you can stack. Like let's say you have 4 ENSs, like that would be 100 megabytes. It will does kind of like stack. And yeah, this is kind of like the breakdown of my megabytes, I guess.
okay.
So Yeah, yeah. I love showing names, and I feel like this is like perfect topic to even cover in this conversation because your name IHeartDomains, like obviously identity and domains are very important to you.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, this is in use, right? This is
Yes.
exactly what the purpose of my existence is for, is to help show these practical use cases, these examples to other people so that they have a reason to buy these names. Um, because I mean, there really is there's two schools of buyers out there. There's the hopefuls that are buying their name. They have their name and they may have a couple others. They want this to work. Those are the ones that are listening to every space and trying to figure out how to use tools and build. Those are usually ones that don't really have flippable names. Then you have some that don't care if these work or not. And they
Hmm.
just have a chest full of names that they'll sell to anybody. And we need one to create a market, but again, at the same time, like we definitely need to create more of an emphasis on showing people how to use these names,
Hmm.
giving people a reason, because if no one has a reason to buy the name, then the people who have that big treasure chest of names don't have anybody to sell them to.
Exactly. And in Decentraland, there are those individuals too that, they see the potential there and they stack up on names. Like I've had a friend, I think he sold his Coca-Cola name for 10,000 mana. At the time, mana may have been like $1 around there. So, like,
Nice.
it's the markets kind of like act almost like the same as the ENS markets, the second markets.
Yeah, and actually, I see that you guys were the first to really run with the subdomain thing, but that's actually now becoming the meta.
Really?
I don't know if yeah.
Nice.
So domains for some, I don't know why it's tech does what tech does, right? You can never predict. So, like I said, ENS has empowered DNS domains to be imported directly, but rather than that being what took off, which is, I mean, it's taking off in its way, I guess. I thought that that would be where our space would have flocked to try to create new
Owning
namespaces.
your identity in Web3.
I thought people would just go buy Grail DNS domains, import them, and create namespaces off of those. But nah, they decided to just create subs off of Grail ETH.
Hmm.
So we've got Degen.eth that launched a bunch of subs. Of course, one that's right now is Base.eth. They're killing it with base names.
I heard you speak
Uh,
about it in your most recent space.
yeah. And it's being adopted. I mean, they've got over 300,000 names that have been minted. And they're not free. I mean, they're free to some people, but they're not free to everybody.
Hmm.
That's 300,000 legit names that people are minting off of a sub. And people are coming back around and accepting it. Again, like we thought that people would have a problem with the dilution of the extra dot, and they don't.
Hmm.
You guys have been OGs in the space running off of off of subs.
Yep, yep.
I said it's the meta now. I
It's a
wouldn't be
meta.
surprised if you get people. I wouldn't be surprised if you get people, starting to flock over here and grab names, especially because they come with that utility of being able to vote and build many metaverses on them.
And yeah, feel free to ask questions. Oh, I just saw this. Okay, let's see. High tech or project. Let's see. One exists dropped a question for you in the chat, like here in Discord, like in our the stage. Let's see. High ID protocol or project do you believe holds the most potential for widespread adoption and impact? You got to speak English. No.
Yeah, no, I'm reading it. It looks like it says, which ID protocol or project do I believe holds the most potential for widespread adoption and impact? For instance, how do I view the prospects of initiatives like WorldCoin or Galaxy Ontology compared to others in the field? What all should be included with those, like Social Security? Okay, huh?
It's a loaded one. So,
No, actually, the answer to this question is newest player in the space. It's the brand new answer. Uh, which ID protocol? I think base names. What they're trying to build, at least initially, with. So a couple reasons on the base name thing, right? And that's basically saying I'm bullish on ENS too. So going back to that ENS works, that part, but even base names being built on top of it, they are trying to create a bridge for normies to come into this space. They are trying to create a UI UX that doesn't require having to figure out how crypto works in order to engage with crypto. I think that they're continuing to adapt this process, and they're inviting builders to build a way to continue to create this process to a point where eventually they'll succeed. I think a lot of people are going to come through this ecosystem through base, and they're right there, their onboarding ramp, the first thing that's in front of them, the first piece of digital identity that they're being introduced to is base names. Now, what base names is now currently is supposed to be like the builder identity. So right now, you're able to link your builder score if you're using what is it? Passport, not Passport, but Talent Passport or whatever, Talent Protocol. That's the builder thingy. And again, forgive me if I'm kind of stumbling with my words. It's later in the day, but there's a Talent Passport score if you've been in that ecosystem. Warpcast has a lot to do with what goes on with base too. So if you're on Warpcast, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But even different badges and things like that, you're now able to attach to your base name. At some point, I'm sure that will probably translate into maybe personal documents, other things as they continue to build. I know that they had an AMA with ENS, and their initial rollout is aimed towards builders, which is why most of the integrations and things like that are kind of builder focused. But I mean, at some point, they already got over 300,000 names out there. When they get to millions of names and we get regular people in there, they'll probably start incorporating like different tools and stuff for normies to store.
SRJH says base badges on Decentraland would be sick. And
it would be, and it'll probably come. Jesse from Bases, they're that's what I'm talking about. They're aggressive and they're willing to talk with, it seems like, anybody who's really wanting to build and wanting to create bridges. And they've got a lot of collaborations out there. I'm sure he would love a base badge on Decentraland. To talk to y'all about getting it there.
Let's get it. We gotta somehow find a way to connect. Okay, you mentioned Warpcast, so I guess we could kind of segue into Warpcast. In your last space, I was hearing you speak about Warpcast. This was I believe on the 21st of August, when you published it at least.
Okay.
You had mentioned Warpcast, how you were liking the platform. It was kind of like a good placeholder, or it's a good platform for initially creating that Web3 identity. By any chance, are your feelings still like that? Has anything changed? The reason why I asked is because personally, I was just like you, kind of amped about Warpcast, but then I started realizing that you're really just a ghost on that platform.
That's
Go ahead.
That's exactly how I was going to kind of answer it. It's a love-hate.
Okay.
And the hate part is definitely because of that shared experience. And even still, I'll say that Algo, I think, has improved a little bit, in the past couple weeks.
Okay.
But yeah, the entire time I've been on there, for the most part, engagement-wise, there's definitely been the haves and have-nots. You're a ghost if you don't have a power badge. I think that part of the ecosystem was broken. If they fix that, cool beans. So that's the hate part. But on the love part, as much as I can feel like a ghost, I have to give flowers where flowers is due. And that is, Dan made a solid attempt, and it's still rolling and he's still optimizing to create kind of the best of both worlds. Social media that you can own. Right now, we're seeing examples every single day of not owning your data, not owning your platform, not even owning the way you can get to it. A whole country, Brazil, can't even use Twitter now.
Yeah.
This is real.
It's unfortunate.
If we don't think that our governments or any entities will cut off access to information or access to data, we're being shown examples of that every single day. So this is a solid attempt to do so. And I think, again, when I'm out here trying to preach how to actually use digital identity, it is one of the few platforms out there that helps it make sense. So being able to use, just for right now, I guess, your ENS domain, but being able to use that in lieu of a traditional username, and then like that can't be taken or removed or altered or changed, that's value. Now you can build on, your name never going anywhere.
Yeah.
And they're the only ones so far that I know have really incorporated it like that. So
Yeah, the fact that upon making your Warpcast account, like through your phone, you're initially getting a like placeholder wallet address, like in a way that works with Base or anything that really connects to Warpcast as well. Like that is cool because a lot of normies don't know how to make their MetaMask wallets or their Phantom wallets, whatever it may be. So like it is like definitely like a good hands-free start, I have to say. The reason, yeah, like for me it's also like a love-hate. I love the technology. I love, being able to host your different groups. I like the tipping mechanisms. I like I like how they have the warps that you could like send to people as well, or earn warps through like your channel, or even oh
I
my.
don't think I've ever earned warps. I've earned like maybe 50. Like nobody ever pays me in that. But yeah, I paid out a lot of warps.
It's good. It's a good onboarding mechanism too. Like, hey, here's 100 warps. Join some channels. Uh,
One thing they actually do really well, and I don't know if you've experienced this, and hopefully I can do a better job of explaining this now than I tried to like 2 hours ago to a friend of mine. Um, but rounds. So I don't know if you've heard of rounds yet.
rounds.
The website itself, if you want to see what rounds are, is rounds.wtf. But it is integrated within Warpcast, and what it basically does is owners of channels can incentivize basically engagement in their channels by pre-funding rounds, and those rounds have rules, and you can set moderators to choose, I guess, who followed those rules and who qualifies for the rounds or not. And this is a big thing because everyday people, if you're on Warpcast, if you're just on there, like right now, you're on Twitter all day, every day. Most people are. Like I scroll through Twitter, whatever social media. We interact with things, we farm things, we're playing with things, we're sharing things, and most of us aren't getting paid for it if your account's not monetized. Well, here, if you go into any one of those groups, so let's go into, like, for instance, if you go in the purple group, that's a good group because I just posted in that round. So right here on the left-hand side.
Or left hand. Oh, kind of like the bar right here.
Yep. So these are the different channels. So these are channels who have funded a round. And they have active rounds. And so if you go up to the top, this active round has 10 ETH that was funded into it. And they're saying that over the course of the next 2 weeks, whoever posts certain content that meets criteria into this channel will get a share of this pool of 10 ETH. And that's literally all you have to do is just post. I mean, obviously, you need to post something that's relevant to the channel and not make something up. But if you're doing something in the space, like if you're building, for instance, this one is about people who are helping onboard others to Farcaster. That's something that you're doing, and you cast or tweet in that channel, you're gonna get paid for it.
Okay. I should definitely look up rounds. Yeah, I did not know that. Like, I have seen the website, but I never really understood it. I more or less thought it was like something that I would have to contribute into, not like kind of like have the opportunity to post my tweet about the subject that it whatever may be funded and have a chance to earn. That's dope. I'm really happy you showed
Yeah, there's people that literally get up every single day and look and see which rounds are active, and they're posting those channels.
Yep.
This is all the channels that are some of them, I think when you get down to probably about the 20th one, you'll start to see like expired rounds, but pretty much the whole front page, like what you can see in the left column right now, those are all pretty much active. I know Build's active, NOCs, and they can give away different tokens. Some of them fund with ETH, some of them fund with their own token. Some of them are always active, like Yellow's always active, Nouns is always active, Nouns Retro is always active.
Okay.
Basically incentivize, and this is what I mean, like with Warpcast, they're incentivizing people to build and to post content about building. They're trying to curate a community of people that want to make this space make sense.
Yep. That is so sick. I'm definitely bookmarking this and showing my friend. I was telling you, like, the reason why I like shake my fist so much at this platform is because I've told you about my friend Rustan. He is a super talented person, like an individual like him, and he was actually, not recently, he's kind of like lost interest in the platform, but he was posting very like consistently like his art, and just never really getting seen when and he like for I don't know, that just it seems like the platform needs to notice the like the actual people that are within its platform.
Well, I don't know what the magic switch is, and I don't know what the magic switch is to turn it on. I think I know for me what turned it off. I think I remember the moment where it went bad on Warpcast for myself personally. But exactly that, right? And even in the beginning, so I'm probably one. I've been on Warpcast for a year. I'm probably one of the first people that like actually started going in some of these groups and saying that being shadow banned was a thing, because everyone pretended like they had no clue what I was talking about, and I was telling them like, yeah, I think I'm shadow banned on Warpcast. Like, I think I'm ghosted. I don't think anybody can see what I'm posting. It's just not right. And those original first groups that started popping up, like Powerless and like all these that were trying to like it became kind of like a movement, which, like I said, I'm glad that they're trying to do something with the algo now. But yeah, I don't know what magic switch turns you from being, I don't know, not a spammy, but because there's so many, like you said, there are so many people who don't post spammy content, who are just regular normal people who for some reason are banned by the algo, and I'm one of them. I think so I've been told it's because of my name, because I have airdrop in it, but I think it's because I DM'd Dan once and made him mad. That's when it really went weird.
Yeah. I mean, okay, now that you're mentioning that, I have heard like of like some sort of mismanagement on that end. Like, if you piss off Dan, that's it, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and it shouldn't be like that, to tell you the truth. Like, like, do you think Mark Zuckerberg has ever banned anyone because he didn't like them? Now, he probably censored them.
And that's the thing too. And sometimes I share my thoughts on it, and I'm only sharing it just out of caution.
Yeah.
If Dan or anybody does ever happen to listen to this space or this podcast, I'm certainly not saying that I'm going to initiate it, but you're doing what you're doing, and whatever catches up to you as a result of it does. But the reason why Mark Zuckerberg wouldn't do anything stupid like that is because that dude gets pulled into congressional meetings all the time. You go to jail. It's illegal. You can't do that kind. I mean, you're charging money for the platform. And some people have to learn that the hard way. Crypto degens think that they can just build stuff and nothing will happen. No, we'll see one day.
Yeah.
I know for a fact we will see one day. Again, I'm not wishing this on you, Dan, or anybody, because I like Warpcast. But it's going to happen.
As things are kind of integrating, going into kind of like a Web 2.5, like Web 3 and Web 2 meeting in the middle, there could be like, governments coming in and shaking things up. Like for example, like I heard recently, like certain states in the U.S. have like banned airdrops, for example. and I had made a comment to some friends, which, like, I don't know if it's completely true, but it seems like kind of like the cycle. The government will ban something first so that they can get their friends on board, and then they will unban it.
Yeah, that could be the case. Here in like I said, I am Doc, so I mean I'm in Texas. Here in Texas, we can't use certain crypto exchanges. Like I've never used Binance a day in my life.
You don't need to use Binance. They stole like some ETH from me back in the day. You don't need to use them, trust me.
Well, remember being a quote unquote BNB chain maxi, which sounds more ridiculous every time I say it out loud. It was kind of inconvenient to not be able to access, Binance.
Yeah, yeah.
Made it work though, with crypto.com.
Well, as long as the network works, I guess. All right, so kind of shifting back to you, I would like to kind of learn more about your services, like what you offer within your your Web3 market.ing ing domain.
Yeah, that's a domain. Yeah, love it. Yeah, absolutely. So anybody who's familiar with my platform, IHeartDomains, knows that the primary marketing tool that we use for our own platform is, well, spaces and podcasting. So not only do I host our own podcast or spaces each week called Tech Talk, which has been running for almost 2 years, but that is also one of the main services that I offer to other platforms. I try to tailor mainly the platforms that are in this niche. I'm comfortable with really any platform that's building in the tech space or a Web3, but digital identity obviously is my wheelhouse. But yeah, service offering through web3market.ing or Web3 marketing is AMAs. Do like a Spaces Captain program. If anybody's familiar with Unfungible and the services that they do for like Forbes and other platforms, yeah, not as big as Unfungible, but that's what I offer to other clients in this space. So I have clients like Freename and GBM. I also do the spaces for Verbs. And then from a full marketing perspective, I am a serial entrepreneur. I've built lots of connections and obviously that involved tons of marketing, building successful businesses in the past, and been able to utilize some of those connections to, I guess, benefit other platforms in this space. One of which being, some celebrity marketing options that I have, and I actually took Freename with me this past, February? Or was it the end of? Like I said, my times get mixed up. My brain, as you get older and start smoking, it's not good for you. But yeah, I believe it was in January. Whenever the Grammys was, went out to the Grammy Awards, set up a display, created this line called Nerd Merch, which is super cool. You should check that out. But yeah, talked to about 150 to 200 Grammy Award winners and nominees about digital identity. I bored them to death with nerd stuff. And that's like kind of the thing that we need to do in order to normalize this, is we need to start bringing more influencers and people like that on board, and again, trying to build that bridge and make it make sense. But yeah, all around, that's what we offer Web3 marketing. Everything from spaces to full-blown marketing, trade show, celebrity marketing, all that good stuff.
I see. Yeah, and so in your what we offer section, you kind of have your 3 packages and the drop downs, which kind of give you an outline of what you would be receiving for the price of whatever package they may choose. What strategies did you use when kind of putting these packages together and pricing them?
Yeah, couple things. My prices are cheap.
Yeah.
They're cheap. And that's just because we are so young. I know that there are so many platforms in our space that just don't have the budget. Y'all have made this shit hard. But when you guys are looking at this, please realize that you're getting a lot for cheap. But to answer your question, it's in the way I typically explain it to people, the kind of the hierarchy of where you see the offerings really is what I think is kind of the foundation all the way through what every platform should strive for. So I think every single platform out there should at least have an AMA. An AMA is not just a fun Twitter space to have to try to get hundreds of people in to get some thumbs up and a couple mints, but an AMA is an actual marketing tool. It's something that you could use for years as long as that information is still relevant, to attach to things like bios, to emails, to using press releases. This is literally a marketing instrument, and just almost as important as a domain. So that's why I put it as our first option, our most affordable option. It's an entry point. If nothing else, if you need nothing else from me, is get your story recorded so that you can use it and utilize it in marketing campaigns. Aside from that, the rest of our services kind of cater to platforms that just don't have an internal team. If you have a platform, you need to engage with your community. You need to create a forum or a medium for people to talk to you, to ask questions. We in Web3 have become accustomed to spaces. It's just the thing. Like if you're not running spaces, it's weird, right? You're almost seen as almost non-transparent. So if you can't run your own spaces, I would recommend to any platform to find someone to partner with. One of those partners could be us if there's synergy. And of course, that is that next package that you see.
I see. I love it. I love it. Because like you said, like we're still very young in this space, so kind of just creating these proof of concepts, like putting them on paper, putting them on websites, like putting it out there is definitely like a smart thing to do, because like in a way, like this right here and your answer like helps me in like what I'm trying to build personally as well. So like in a way I'm learning from you, or not in a way, I am learning from you.
I appreciate that, and this is how we grow. Like again, like even what we're doing now, learn from each other, and this is the perfect medium that we become comfortable with doing. It's a very powerful tool. It works. A lot of people discover new things and discover new people. People build bridges of trust by being able to speak to you. So, and our space gets it. By our space, I mean the Web3 identity space. It's pretty rich with spaces now. But yeah, again, I think a lot of people see the value of spaces, not necessarily incorrectly, but they see only the immediate impact of it. They value the space, how many people they're able to get into it at the moment, and aren't looking at it as for what it really can be or what it really is. It's an asset. You can reuse it over and over and over again.
Exactly.
You use it to create backlinks. You can do all kinds of stuff with it.
Exactly. So scrolling on in like down in your website, we have finally reached our iHeartDomains Tech Talk. As I was mentioning earlier in the space, I've been listening to your content the last few days. I love the engaging conversations, and I'm just gonna pass it over to you. What can you tell us about Tech Talk? And kind of secondary question, what inspired you to kind of want to begin hosting these events?
And thank you for asking that question and asking it that way, because I was actually going to start the answer with what inspired me. It's extremely important. So going back to when I did first come into the space, again, home forts, all that good stuff, came across, like I said, digital identity. The mission to make it make sense came from trying to make this make sense to my own family. I've told this story many a times, and it hits me the same way. But my mother, again, my mother is somebody that I would always run my ideas past, whether they were good or bad. Most of the time I zoned out her opinion. I'll set my ways anyway. But again, when I came across Own Forks, and I think I told her that we should invest like my daughter's college fund or something into crypto. Of course, she hung up on me on that. Then I tried to talk to her about NFTs, and this is all within a short period of time. We're talking about weeks. I went from Own Forts to NFTs. You should look at this. To I bought these crypto domain names, And that's the one thing that she didn't reject. She actually ended up buying 4 unstoppable domains. Remember, I came in through UD. She bought 4 unstoppable domains on the spot. I was sitting right in her living room, and she purchased the 4 domains. And then, again, I saw that as a personal victory. I'm one of those people that I'm a goal. I accomplishing goals means more to me than money, even though one kind of comes with the other. But fulfillment kind of fulfills me. I know that was like a little double speak, but in any event, I took that as a solid victory. Like, okay, and I didn't take it as a solid victory, like professionally, like, okay, now I'm going to start a school doing this. Just took it as, okay, well, maybe this does make sense. If my mother gets it, then again, this is something that I can talk to anybody about. Well, she ended up not being here anymore. Very soon after that, for whatever reason that happens to people. But because I really didn't have any other purpose in life at that moment and really wanted to dedicate myself to something, I chose this. So that's what inspired me. Again, saw the need to communicate this tech in a way that regular people can understand if we intend regular people to use it. If we're creating a cabal, then we can just say that, right? If we're creating this hidden technology that only 1% of people are ever going to use or make money off of, then let's say that. But if we're out here showboating and saying that digital identity is for everybody, that Web3 is for everybody, that NFTs are for everybody, the people need to go out here and speak like everybody speaks and make things that everybody can use and make it inviting for everybody. So my tech talks are simple conversations where I try to speak on everybody's level to get them to understand the super technical stuff.
I love it. I love it. And off the top of your head, like, what have been kind of some really amazing guests that have been on your show that you would like to highlight?
Oh, Lord, I've had a lot.
Yeah, you get like 3 at a time, right?
Yeah, I definitely want to shout out the people who have shown up extremely consistently, even though they may not necessarily be like big household names or brands, because first and foremost, they have the most value to me. So people like Paige, people like Collector, people like he goes by Mike Lowry, those type of people show. But when we talk about big name guests, I've obviously had like Sandy from Unstoppable on.
I know you have a picture with her.
Yeah, I've actually met Sandy in person quite a few times. We run into each other pretty often now.
I see her all the time, like on Spaces. Like, you know, I haven't had the opportunity to talk to her, but I do listen to her, and you know, she's doing good work out there. Very well spoken.
Very good work, actually. And again, you know, shout out to Sandy, shout out to Unstoppable. You know, they're building, but she shows up everywhere. Anytime there is a major event, she is out there, and she is, again, you know, trying to connect with real businesses, real organizations, people that are inside the crypto space but aren't necessarily like just about crypto. And they're connecting them with TLDs, trying to make this make sense with the utility that we have. So, I mean, kudos to them. Again, these are builders in our space that are pushing our space forward, and always enjoyed, you know, my friendship with Sandy. Aside from her, I've had AMAs with pretty much every builder in the space. It's weird because anytime somebody asks me, I came from the fashion business, and I did a lot of celebrity fashion. And when people would ask me celebs I would work with, I always went blank. And I worked with hundreds. But like in this space, like WebHash comes to mind. Who else? Just everybody. Yeah, actually, do me a favor.
What's that?
Where scroll down where it says past AMAs.
Past AMAs.
There you go. You can help me out. We can just scroll down this. Of course, we've got free name Decentraland. I think I'm the only person to have done an AMA with Michael of Decentraland.
Oh, Michael K.
Secret Network. With he goes by Mafia Boy.
Mafia Boy. Don't think I've.
Lead dev at Decentraland.
The Central Web. I thought you said Decentraland. My apologies.
Of course, Secret Network. They just launched their .secret TLD, building big things in their space. Free Name, who we're partners with. If you guys aren't already familiar with Free Name and are looking for an investment opportunity in the space, that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, here's a list of pretty much.
Yep.
And there's more than even this, but there's a few pages of.
Yep.
These are just straight AMAs, and these are outside of the regular tech talks. These are just AMAs.
Okay.
A Collabland.
Collabland, nice. That's dope. We were talking about Discord earlier. I'm guessing
Yeah.
I'm guessing they didn't help with your excitement towards Discord.
They were actually we were doing an AMA with them about their Telegram.
Oh wow, that's funny. That's funny because we use Collabland for Discord as well.
Yeah, and they ended up deprecating the Telegram. Well, they still have, I think, the Telegram token getting features, but they had built a whole other platform called Telefriends. And I think they ended up shutting that down. They didn't get the traction they wanted. But yeah, it was a good concept. But just in case people didn't know, you could also use Collabland to token gate groups in Telegram.
Okay, I didn't know that. Man, they're expanding. That's good. Let's see. There's Sandy from Unstoppable Domains. Okay. Like I'm always looking to connect with people, so that's why I ask these questions even to fellow guests because in the grand scheme of things, it all we're all helping each other even as a show host, like from show host to show host. Like you have someone on your space, that could be an experience for them, and then having one of then someone else like come and be like, hey, I listened to your conversation with When Airdrop, would love to have you on the show, and that just continues the momentum for them.
Absolutely. You're actually hearing it first. My next AMA is with Push Protocol. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. They're pretty well embedded with Unstoppable. They actually are what Unstoppable's messaging platform is built upon. So yeah, that will actually be on the 13th.
Push Protocol on the 13th of September. What time?
I believe at 11 o'clock a.m. CST.
11 a.m. CST, which should be like maybe noon Eastern, I believe.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Oh, you see? Hey, look, you see the EDNS?
Oh, yes, I do right here.
Yeah, that was a good convo with them. I was actually very impressed by that AMA I'd done with them. Had been in contact with them for a year prior to this AMA too.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where they sit now as far as like their market penetration in the space, or kind of where they found their footing since this AMA. But like I said, talking to them then, they seemed like they were on to something.
I mean, space, time will tell, and stuff like that. It's just a lot of the times, projects may be just working in silence. Like, the example ENS, like I didn't even know they changed up their website till I just logged in right now. So, and it's something that people like constantly check.
They made a pretty big announcement about that, man. I don't know if you, well, yeah, you I guess you didn't see it. There was a little controversy around that too.
I have not seen it.
They made a pretty big announcement that they completely, and I mean, it looks great, but they announced it like it was a complete major rebrand that it's gonna drive in now, like I said, droves of normies into the space, and it was just a land page redo.
You gotta love those. We're working on big things, everyone. Here's merch. Here's some merch.
But then they partner with Base, and Base is getting them here. So hey, get there one way or the other, right?
Yep. Definitely. Well, I'm happy to see Base like getting active, and as we spoke earlier about like even them starting to use the concept of subdomains. That's just a sign that the space is developing and moving forward. More use cases for more networks and stuff like that. So let's see. I'm pretty much have gone over most of my questions. I guess maybe just a free ball question. What network or what domain service is gonna make it at the end? Like, what do you think 10 years from now we will have around? Will ENS still be top dog, or what are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
ENS, ENS can't go anywhere, so obviously they'll be here. But besides ENS, I mean, Unstoppable is building bridges with ICANN. They're building real infrastructure in the space. The way I answered, and I'm glad you asked this question because I answered one of your questions earlier, the one with which one do I prefer. I threw in the third bonus one in there.
Yep.
And that's the one that I think will also be around in the end, and that's free name. Remember when I was telling you going to NamesCon, I saw the other side of this industry or this space. I saw the business side, and that business side came from being an issuer, right? If you're buying names from someone, you're a consumer. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're buying them and you're using them, cool. If you're buying them and you're flipping them, cool. There's a market there as well. But then there's also a market in being a wholesaler and owning the farm. Platforms like Freename, Handshake, and Decentraland are those such platforms that issue you Web3 domains at the TLD level. Now, obviously, they all run into the same problem that Unstoppable has, which is they don't have ENS's integrations. So, quote unquote, in the eyes of everyone who holds a .eth, they don't work. But eventually they will, because, again, like I said, people are developing, ecosystems getting bigger and bigger. MetaMask isn't the only thing that's out there anymore, blah, blah, blah. So, and I think we've done a very good job over the past year or so of starting to communicate the value of people diversifying their bag of assets and starting to look at these TLDs. So don't be surprised. And obviously now you see Unstoppable has made it their entire business model. So don't be surprised if you start seeing a lot more community TLDs popping up.
Nice.
And yeah, because there's, again, at the end of the day, these are NFTs. And what can you do with an NFT? What we just talked about earlier at the beginning of the space. You can use it to token gate stuff.
Yep.
And communities have needs token gate experiences. You can either use a piece of art that you got to go pay somebody for and got to go sell or blah, blah, blah. Or if you've already got a community, issue them all your own identity off your TLD. Go get you some land in Decentraland, build an experience and token gate.
Exactly. Yeah, host events from there. I mean, even like, for example, your spaces, like it could be something that could be streamed into Decentraland and kind of apply that side of things to everything. So I mean, you probably definitely have a little bit to think about after like all the Decentraland stuff I showed you today.
I do. I told you I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole now.
Yes, sir. So, if anyone would ever like to be a guest on Tech Talk, what is the best process? Do you have like a sign-up sheet or anything like that?
It's DMs. That would be the best process, and to show up.
All right.
The way so AMAs and the Tech Talks are different, even though they share the same name. I guess I just wasn't that creative, but AMAs are more of an intimate conversation. Typically, just like how this one is, I won't let a guest up. I try to focus the conversation just on me and the builder. But on the regular Tech Talks, the weekly Tech Talks, it's an open space. As long as you're not weird and I don't see anything weird in your bio, if you request a speaker role, I'll let you up to join the convo. So just basically showing up would be the way to get into space.
It's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, definitely. Before we started today, I definitely like requested like, hey, next time you have a metaverse space, you know who to hit up. I'll represent Decentraland. I mean, not even that, but I could also talk about like other platforms I've gone on, like or been on, or am a part of, like HyperFi, and yeah, like basically talk about overall stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to spin up another metaverse space very soon. Especially after what I've seen here. And again, I'd love to hear it from your perspective. So.
You know who to call or DM, you know how to find me. I guess before closing out, any final thoughts you would like to leave anyone with, as well as what is the best way to reach you if anyone would like to just connect?
Yeah, I'm iHeartDomains everywhere, pretty well branded. A lot of people kind of get the names mixed up with the Win Airdrop and iHeartDomains. I'm both. Win Airdrop is me. iHeartDomains is my platform, but if you search either one anywhere, you will likely find my platform. So on Twitter, on Warpcast, on Telegram. As I mentioned, and as you can see in my profile, very nounish, very verbish. We do an IRL event, which we started doing. We did our first one last month. We're doing our second one this month, and then every month thereafter. But we're doing an IRL coffee meetup.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
there you go. So if you are local to Texas, feel free to show up. If you're not local, feel free to share it so that somebody who is local and sees it will pull up and learn, about verbiage culture, nouns culture, DAO culture, teaching all of it. We're onboarding people using Coinbase Wallet, Warpcast, again, trying to make this make sense to normal people. Got enough people in here who are here for money. Not
Mm-hmm.
enough people here investing. I'm here for that too. I show up to the same investment spaces and bullish, waggy NFT spaces as everybody else, but you gotta have the other stuff too.
Yeah, there needs to be substance that comes into the space, and I mean, with what you're trying to do, like, well, not trying, you're succeeding. What you're succeeding in doing is, bringing authenticity, substance into your conversations and stuff, and people really appreciate that, and I feel like Web3 is like the opportunity for us to take back like kind of creation, um how do I describe it? Like, we own our own content, and we make decisions over our own content.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Empowering people to yeah, we're empowering creativity. And as we see, you can build something that continuously evolves for the better if you empower the people who want to build it.
hmm So yeah, authenticity. I mean, for anyone that is authentic, that's something that you don't really even have to tell them. Like, like it's like step one into Web3, be authentic.
Yes,
Alrighty.
sir.
Well, when airdrop, it's been an amazing conversation with you tonight. I want to thank you again for joining us for Beyond the NFT this evening. We've almost been going for about 2 hours, so yeah, just about like the time frame I told you if conversations flow.
Yeah, again, I really enjoyed the convo. And it definitely was a pleasure to be on here. I hope everybody else enjoyed. And yeah, I'm just pleasantly surprised. And thank you. It was a great introduction to the Central Land as well.
Yeah, you're welcome. And yeah, like as we've spoken, like definitely let's continue conversations on any questions you may have about the Central Land, and even like how you could get involved or whatever questions you may have. Like I'm definitely here to help you, and I definitely have a family of the Central Land friends here that will be more than happy to help you as well.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, thank you, When Airdrop, and thank you everyone that has joined us here on Decentraland, as well as on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and X. Yeah, we've been at a solid like 4 or 5 viewers on Twitch. That's pretty awesome. Really appreciate everyone's time tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the show, and yeah, just stand by. I'm gonna raid a streamer on Kick or on Twitch, and yeah, we can hang out for the rest of the evening. Maybe watch some TV or watch some videos, whatever. If anyone has any suggestions, just let me know, and we'll get it. We get it on. Um, Thank you, everyone, and yeah, please stand by.